think I chose to be, or you think I chose to be disabled on COVID or to get paid barely enough to eat when I was in EMT? No. I saved lives. Plural. I mean, I saved at least 2, maybe 3 lives using my skills in EMT. Not that much, I didn't do that many 911 calls, but I did save lives. People alive today wouldn't be alive if not for me. I'm not saying every 911 call, like, oh, I did 3. I'm saying specific cases where I can say, I caught something someone else wouldn't have caught, saved a life, that kind of thing. And I guess one of those is off shift, not actually through my work. But anyways, I saved lives. And yet I barely made enough money to pay rent. That is not based on how valuable the work I did is. It's based on capitalism paying people as little as they can get away with for a job. And EMS is something that only requires a high school diploma and a training course. Therefore, even though the work is extremely valuable, people will be paid jack shit to do it. Because people are replaceable, so if they demand higher wages, they can just be replaced with someone who'll work for less. What you're paid has nothing to do with the value you produce. It has a lot to do with how replaceable you are. You'll be paid based on whatever it takes to get the labor at the lowest possible point to get the labor, but based on the idea of people being replaceable. Provided what you're paid is not more than the amount of value your employer actually makes off you. So they always only pay people less than the value they produce so they can make a profit. As long as there's a profit to be made, they will pay people that and not send more than they have to. And again, it's replaceability. That's why labor unions lead to higher wages, because they make workers less replaceable. Because they'll go on strike if bosses start firing people willy-nilly for asking for wage increases and raises, and they will, in coordinated manner, make themselves scarce with strikes. That's why labor unions are effective, and that's why bosses have worked so hard to change the law so they can crush unions and thus cause wages to go down. Labor unions work. Wages are higher when they're around. At least for a while, the globalization has dampened that because it's become easier and easier to just send jobs overseas. Of course, there's always so many people overseas who can be hyper exploited and paid a tiny fraction of the value they produce. So overseas markets do eventually saturate researching labor markets. And as stuff like strong labor movements build in those countries, which is part of why the U.S. puts authoritarian puppet regimes in countries in power that will like murder people for trying to form trade unions in third world countries, or has done that, especially did that during the Cold War. Far-right governments that killed communists, killed socialists, and killed people who tried to organize trade unions. Like Pinochet's government, Augusto Pinochet, the guy who was replaced the Democratic Socialist government of Chile, put in power by a coup that was made possible by the CIA assassinating the people who stood in the way of the coup. Doesn't matter if they actually organized the coup, it would not have happened without the CIA assassination, which they claim was a failed abduction attempt. It led to their intended target of abduction being killed by accident. Doesn't matter whether they had abducted him or killed him, it's what made the coup possible that Pinochet used to come to power. The CIA was spreading anti-socialist propaganda in the military and doing economic sabotage, cutting off Chile from food imports when they were a country that was not self-sufficient for food, had never been. They were a country that was not self-sufficient for a lot of things. They exported copper and bought food and other goods. So when the U.S. cut them off from imports and simultaneously worked with its puppets and allies, including France, which would be more ally and less puppet, but to cut off Chile's ability to export its copper. At the same time, there was a global crash in the price of copper, so it was a market that favored the buyer rather than seller, and that gave the U.S. a great opportunity to then get countries to essentially embargo Chile, make it so they couldn't sell their copper at all, or had to do so, sell it in conditions that were impossible, like being required, not getting payment until the copper had already arrived, when it was standard to put the money up ahead of time, and just all sorts of intentional barriers. There's books that have been written about it. Nixon intentionally sabotaged the Chilean economy and then spread anti-socialist propaganda in the Chilean military, and then the CIA assassinated a constitutionalist general in Chile who was a strong proponent of the democratic process and not doing a coup. And if people didn't like Salvador Allende, replaced him by election instead of coup. Which, I mean, Chile was a divided country. Socialists won a plurality in elections. They won the largest voting share, and that's how Salvador Allende was, by free and fair election, elected as the democratic socialist president of Chile. But he did not have the majority of the country behind him. He just had the largest group. Like 30-something% of the population voted for him. So there were a number of people who were opposed to him on the right, and then there were people who were neutral or indifferent to him in the center. And the CIA worked to polarize the country and to turn the center bloc against him, and then fed propaganda to the far right, which led to the far right takeover and a coup.
Completed.
All right. Let's do the trade hub. Trade hubs. Well, I mean the trades well. Diplomatic trade deals. So I don't have the alloys to do another of those quite yet. In Bakken Station. Built trade surplus. I can definitely get some of what I need from my partners here in the Blessed Moor and Counts. I'm already thinking as partners, and they'll federate with them eventually, probably. I'd like to do a trade federation, though they'll probably want to do a Holy Covenant. If I get the mercantile tradition, I can do a trade fed, though. I can also do a hegemony, but I doubt they'd want to be subsidiary role in this. Hegemony could form a normal fed and turn it into a hegemony, though. With some, not exactly shenanigans, but slowly changing the fed laws to favor me until I can do that. That would be valuable. Guess I do need a few more enforcers than this. That should be enough, I think. People can say illegitimate, but that's usually how people get power over others. That's not really fair, is by inches. It's never outright, it's a frog in boiling water type situation. So hegemony, of course, will eventually give a project to build a hegemony monument, which gives some influence in my homeworld, wherever my empire capital is at the time, actually. Though I need more than 2 members of the Federation to actually build it, I think. Need a minimum of 3 for the lesser monument, 4 that all partake in the project, the monument that gives half an influence instead of a quarter a month. Small benefit, but it's nice, and then you can disband the hegemony and do another fed later. I think you can still get the Trade Federation and Trade Steering later, or even do another hegemony with a different empire capital and get another monument. I'm not sure. I don't think you can get the project to already have a monument on your current capital, but as long as you move your capital, I'm pretty sure. Nothing else you could spin off in a vassal. As long as you don't control one of those hegemony monuments, I'm pretty sure you can get more than one. And I think it's as long as it's not in your capital world, you can control more than one. I don't know. Not enough people mess with this stuff. They just play to win quick, and then they do another campaign. It's like, you want to do that? It was all about just winning quick. I do more of a momentum build. I do machine individualists because it's insanely overpowered. it's technically its power ceiling is maybe less than a biological ascension in some ways. The amount of time it takes for the biological ascension to pull ahead is like 500 game years or something. Basically, you can win the game long before then. That's before the power levels really become equal, and that's fed by things like the ability to spam longevity texts for leaders as biologic. Now, machines can do internal machine, but that's a 4-point trait, and you can only give it to some of your pops, crippling them in other ways, and hope that those pops come up for leaders. Up for leadership roles. There are some benefits that are unique to biologics. But it takes so long for them to even start to close the gap for all until the gap gets wider in power, and it's a very long time till the rate of change of the gap even becomes in favor of the biologicals. Pretty much, if you snowball that, machine empires are just better for winning quick. I know. I highly doubt I'll play long enough to close that gap. As if I played a machine empire, I would have been ahead at any point in the game. And I mean, Knights isn't even the strongest organic origin, although it's one of the stronger ones, for sure. Probably like the third or fourth best organic ascension. Probably third best, I would guess. People shouldn't be nerfing. It's not even the number one of the organic ascensions, and all organic ascensions are... All organic empires are always behind machine empires, no matter how good their origin. Alright. Diamond in the rough. I think that's the thing where you get a new leader choice, or you can give the ship. Let's see what this is. After a study of China Forest concluded, science officer Netta Ramirez reports they found the plant to be unusually rich in minerals. The discovery was made possible in large part thanks to a certain member of the James Cook crew. Netta Ramirez praises the protege highly. Either way, you get 6 minerals on the planet. You can gain new scientist. Or, and it's a good scientist you get. This is better. Promising crew, higher anomaly discovery chance. They do good work where they are, instead of Peter principle. Promoting people to the point of incompetence or whatever. Not exactly, but the science officer will make the ship have higher anomaly discovery chance. 20 years. That'll give me probably a few more anomalies. James Cook. Hopefully I don't lose that ship soon. There's not many anomalies left to discover, honestly, but some. This will give partial progress in Grand Archive and make it a guaranteed research option. I think this is, some sort of scaled research. This is probably spiders in space. Like in the Lost in Space movie. That's the name of the event anomaly thing. Not a fan of that event. We have detected the presence of a pre-space civilization Deneb 2A in the Deneb system. They're in an early industrial age with electricity and internal combustion engines gradually coming to widespread use. We should consider building an observation post. Gas giant, not the moon. And this is a mechanist empire. They already have robots, despite not having reached space yet. Mechanist origin, so has some slight gimmicks with, I think, extra robot trait points and reduced upkeep. Not a good origin, but slightly better prosperous unification. In some ways, long term. Takes a while to pull ahead of it, quite a while. But they can make fine vassals someday, probably. I don't know if the hive mind will try and invade the world, but if they don't, observation post someday. Dragon Breath. It's kind of a cool song. It's different than a lot of the other ones in this game. This guy does need to eventually get to be an explorer himself, but do I have another take bus? This guy's. Oh yeah, and he's got the tuner. Great. Gone this far and still no empires. Survey a couple ice asteroids. But they can't hide shitoids. Don't think I've seen that, but if it can, I should probably learn. Like to survey habitable worlds. After that, boom. This guy's high level. Surveys quickly. Enough. A little slower maybe than this guy, but he moves faster between. This is kind of urgent, actually. Surveying this stuff. Also, is diminishing returns. I think on too much anomaly discovery chance. No, James Cook is a very high one. All right. Bergmeister is an explorer. It's a high anomaly discovery chance, especially combined questing knights, map the stars edict, and looks like the chart the unknown agenda is already expired, unfortunately. Oh well. Benefit from it for a while. At least we got map the stars. And questing knights. All for extra anomaly discovery chance. Worth noting, the upkeep has a base cost and reduced modifiers. Empire size only increases at 25%. So yeah, the edicts will still be more cost effective over time for a while, for a little while, anyways. And then at a certain point they become less, I think. No, I say that, but yeah, 200 to be doubled cost. I would, in theory, have more than twice the economy since plants have a flat amount. Yeah. Depends on the ratio of empire size to how big your economy is. How many farmers and such you have, but I may eventually run farming subsidies. Especially if I get a monument here. Someday this will allow civilians to produce edict capacity. Edict fund. Only paying part of the unit cost of farming subsidies. And then eventually research ones too. Maybe. Stasia here though. Just more likely this or this to end up in hive territory. doesn't matter. Probably doesn't matter. Get to the science ship before too much time. Resistance frugal. There might be cause to hire another scientist, another official. Became a counselor, more like this. It's younger. Bigger than 30-year-old scientist. I don't know. They aren't great choices, but I could hire these and see if any of them get a good second trait. Fire them if not. Alright. Robot assembly plants. Shoot. Now I was probably gonna try and get a little Ep47 triggers thing from Genesis Arc. However much value I get from uplifting species a little earlier, I'm pretty sure I get more by saving society research. There's some value. Planetary unification becomes more valuable with the small amount of unity scaling with your output. I think I thought about doing this, but probably can't use the influence yet. Yeah, planetary unification. This is 6 months. Shoot. This is still 8 months away. Get a little longer. Kind of want that monument before. What? Could briefly re-enable the temple. Well, then I'd have on wood pops for no reason. That'd be dumb. Shoot. What I need to do is this for 2 months. Or a month. That's not gonna work. Do that first. Oh. I know I can contribute to this. There's no way I can get this done, but I can store a little research in here. Do one more run up the giant triggers, then work on the 6 for a little, and then planetary unification. Which will get right after that monument is done. That should add nicely to my uni output and capital. Not a ton, but it's like... it's a bit of uni. And meanwhile, I grow pops here. Nice if I can get resistance frugal before unification, though. Remember, run this for at least a month.
Construction completed.
Ah, yes. And a trade hub. Forget. I'll undoubtedly forget if I wait any longer. I really don't have that much to offer nowadays, but they have some. They overvalue consumer goods, not so much energy. I don't need the energy that much. Guess this can. There's pops to reset on later. Boom. Boom. Always in energy. Energy will eventually come in handy when I go over my starbase cap, I suppose. It's a way to turn energy into food and trade. Or more cost effectively than if I sold it on the internal market, is my guess. Unless I get really over the starbase cap.
System survey concluded.
Cool. On the way to rescue this ship. Sleep on the watch. That's a funny name for an instruction ship. Sort of. Alright. Medical workers become unemployed. Some will become enforcers. Others will have to demote. Here. Alright. Oop. What was that event that just expired? God. And they rejected the trade deal. Shoot. Let me just take a quick look. Whatever that was. Just the left of the Grand Archive. Somebody was being honestly obnoxiously loud with knocking stuff around. Cool people, but I don't think they realize how noise sensitive I am. I'm on COVID. Oh, lost in space. Treating is the default option. That's probably what I was gonna pick. Not much there. It's just a ship adrift in space, no signals coming in or out, and spectate more closely might shed some light on what has happened to this crew. And the Bayou system doesn't time out. It's risky, the scientist who does it. Bubbles is still repairing, so I'm not quite ready to jump in there. You know what? I'll take a moment to read that text to you guys, actually. I think for a second what else to do here. So for folks who missed the intro because I cut this video in two, I will cut it in two in this post. Welcome to the channel, by the way. I hope you folks are taking care of each other and being kind to yourselves. The signal we intercepted was a stress signal from a ship in orbit around Bayou 4. The ship's not giving off any heat signatures and seems to be drifting. A special project has been issued to investigate what happened to the crew. I put that off for ages. Yeah. Anyways, I don't like that project very much. At least they moved anything that can kill a scientist from anomaly to a special project. But you can still always scientists to special projects, like the galactic omelet can hatch. It's cracked egg one. That's reaching for the world. So you do special projects at your own risk. Anomalies are actually technically safe, although they used to be able to kill scientists, and then I guess the devs decided exploration was too safe, so then they made it risky again by adding shitoids. The danger is no longer from the anomalies themselves. I'd argue maybe it should be in some cases. It's from the space wildlife. Alright. Very beginning next month, out there station will complete. I guess I may offer another trade deal to these guys next month. No more alloys again. Hopefully. So close to the robot assembly plants. To mess a little with templates. Too bad it's taking this long. We could have maybe even done that on camera and gone far enough to undo the bug fix I made. And go back and do the bubbles thing later, but it's gonna have to wait. Robust plants 4 days.
Construction completed.
Boom. Do a trade hub. I don't want to tie too many always. Need to get what I can. These guys. I always want to keep 500 alloys in reserve, so that's the most I can trade. They undervalue energy. Cool. Profitable trade deal if they accept. Not enough for Genesis Arc, though. Not enough to start another starbase. Want this before. And this investment stuff. I mean, it's investing, grows my economy more. But of course, the Genesis Arc will add to more population in the long run, which is probably more valuable. Alright, pull on to xenolinguistics. And then I'll have to do anti-unification. Alright. I don't think I get robot templates. Yeah, not for a month. I should now have some roboticists. And a bunch of unemployed pops, which means I need more enforcers because crime. And some unemployed pops. I guess it's 50. We'll see. Crime hasn't yet increased. It will. I'll end up with some civilians before long. Wait a second. Whoop. 6 months. 136. Yeah, I can before I do the stupid monument, I can reactivate the temple briefly. Should have more than enough pops here. Yep. Planetary unification. Just before the monument. Since the preset, a lot more uni in total. Which case, since I'll keep them. No, I can always. Would I want to borrow from any other venues at the beginning of a month? No, I wouldn't. I want to borrow from other jobs. Days. Okay, 100 enforcers, because I just want to keep pop. I mean, these pops aren't going to demote by then, I don't think. I'll briefly make them priests again, and then lay off people finally. Modulated fields. Energy is shepherded into state streams by algorithm and intent. Could be an argument for pulling more specialists through city districts, but I think I'd rather send them to the colonies and to population growth. Alright. Just about ready to end this stream very soon. It'll be like 2 48-minute videos or something. That's well enough.
We have detected an anomaly.
Found a heavily damaged bipedal robot floating in space. We do not understand its energy source, but may be able to retrieve information from its memory. Ah. Cool. Ship has extra research speed. Want the head of research there. This guy. Yeah, research it. It's too damaged to restore even if you have max robotics. Techs, I'm pretty sure. Saving case I'm radically wrong. Check these, but I'm pretty sure. There's no reason to delay that anomaly. Someone gained a negative trait. My Minister of Defense? Really? This leader has such a subdued personality. She is barely noticed. Urgh. This delays progress a little bit. Some exclusion. It's because the fleet sat so long. I'm betting I won't get that if I go back. It's not so much this company is I completely forgot about the fleet. They didn't need to repair that long. I'm curious to see if I get a negative trade again. If I do, I'll just suck it up and accept it. But I bet there's a trigger. Fleet's been idle such and such time or something. All right. Bubbles is still actually not that badly damaged. Boom. Let's jump there and they reject the deal again. It might have been because they looks like their price got worse. I'll try next month, I guess. 400 for Genesis Arc, so I'm not actually gaining anything by trading this second. Anyhow. Huh. Okay, it must have been triggered to happen at this time. Oh, stubborn. This leader is stubborn and slow to accept new methods and ideas, even if they've proven superior. That sucks, although not the worst trait. This leader made it to the veteran level before they became stubborn. They still will level up just a little slower. Unless they passive politician cancel each other out. It's wasting 2 trades. But whatever. I wanted to see if the thing would still fire at the fleet. It's it passive, and I guess it did. So, learn something. Planetary unification. Should actually get that a little before the Oxygen Monument. I have just enough price left that I think get the full benefit of a Genesis Arc. Maybe I'll do Xenolinguistics after. Next month I can pause and off-camera design some robot templates or do a next video. It all works. Mission jobs, so that should be film pops to moat. Let's get some more squires. Get to 90. People work as enforcers. They're not going to demote before the assembly plants. And now I have 1 robot pop and I can start. Oh wait, that's right. I can't create templates until I get templates management system or whatever. Well, okay. I have 1 robot in Hessic Prime. 1. This should start creating materialist traction. It might take a month for it to kick in. So, oopsie daisy, I forgot I won't actually be able to design robots, but I can raise living standards now. It should work, not cause issues. Might have to enforce this temporarily because I don't want to promote workers just to work in the robot assembly plant. They don't need promoting. Boom. Actually, I need the forces anyways. Bodices. Per. Seems to be indicating less than one pop assembly a month, so maybe it must be hurt by the growth scaling. Could be. Oh. Yeah, no, actually. Well, that's probably the raw before anyways. I was gonna say, there's definitely habitability hurting it. Next to the synth. Pop growth. Pop growth is king. Or monument? No. Luxury residences. That will help drastically increase pop growth. It's kind of obvious. I don't know what I'll do here next. Oh, yes I do. Automation building. I've got at least the bones of stuff laid out. Cool. I think I can save here. Hope you folks enjoyed this video. Take care of each other. Be kind to yourselves. May always find a guiding star to lead home. Until next time, this is Northstar. I do, and best of luck to you all.